Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. It's episode 2 of my musical evolution. I'm calling this one Making Choices. Um, Essentially, you get to a point where you start enjoying music and you start making choices as to what you like, you know? So these are just 5 albums that, I happen to choose. I'll mention a few others, but they're ones I don't have on vinyl, or actually some of them I don't have on any format anymore. So I'll just, talk about them as they come. So first up, we have Bon Jovi Slippery One Wet. I was a kid. I must have been, I don't know, 6 years old. When did this come out? 1986. Yeah, so probably about 6 or 7 years old. And a neighbor of ours had this and always used to play like Let It Rock and You Give Love a Bad Name. And I gravitated towards it. This and what were the other ones? There were 2 others. Crazy Nights by Kiss and what was the other one? And Hysteria by Def Leppard. Those 3 really kind of drew me in and kind of got me into like metal slash, the harder music, if you will. So there, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. It's a strange place to come into like heavier music, but that's where it was. My next one was AC/DC, Flip of the Switch. After listening to, Bon Jovi and stuff like that for a while, I started wanting something with a little bit more of an edge, a bit harder, and I found it in AC/DC. Actually, if I remember right, it was the video for Who Made Who really kind of got me. And then Flick of the Switch, I found this album and picked it up on cassette back in the day and never looked back, honestly. I was an AC/DC fan after that. And it's an unfairly maligned album. It's a good album. It's just not, like the super great ones that followed or preceded it. Next, this is an interesting one. This is Iron Maiden, Powerslave. And the way I actually came about this album was interesting. At the same time when I got Flick of the Switch, I was, like I said, getting interested in more heavy music. So at the time, I was out at a music store. It was, I think it was an HMV at the time. I was with my grandmother, and I didn't know what to choose. I knew I wanted to get something heavier. And, grandmothers being grandmothers, she saw a guy there, leather jacket, ripped jeans and everything. She went up to him and asked him, like, okay, where's a good place to start? For getting into, like, metal and stuff. And he recommended either Powerslave or Number of the Beast. I went with Powerslave just because I really dug that cover. And I wasn't really ready to, for the, I'm going to say satanic stuff, but that's not really what I mean. Like, I wasn't ready for it to be that dark, I wanted more, like, I guess, like, fantasy-esque type stuff. So I went with Powerslave, and I never looked back. To this day, this is possibly, it's easily one of my top 3 Iron Maiden albums. I love it. It's great. You can't go wrong. Next, we have one, going back a little bit, but this is one again, these are all around the same time when I'm trying to get into like heavier type stuff. Gotta Raise Your Fist and Yell by Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper had a lot of albums which, I don't know whether this is one of them or not, I can never tell, but he had a bunch that had a lot of the same songs on it. Like, Lock Me Up on this one, Freedom. Let's see what else is on here. Roses on White Lace, stuff like that. Prince of Darkness. They were on a lot of different, like, albums. They were on this, they were on Prince of Darkness, they were on some, like, a bunch of stuff. That's where I kind of met Alice Cooper, if you will. I like that and Trash. And I really liked what I heard, and it stuck with me ever since. And again, at the same time, this is also going back, because this was an album whose cover drew it like this to this day. This cover draws you in, no matter like if you're a fan of the music or not. Put it aside, the cover will always draw you in, and that's Kiss Destroyer. I know people that like they aren't Kiss fans. I get it. Their music isn't necessarily for everyone, but there's something about Destroyer, and that cover is just awesome. And it just spoke to me as a kid, and still speaks to me to this day. This is my favorite Kiss album. So take that for what you will. Some people argue Love Gun, some people argue the other ones, but Destroyer, always my number one. So yeah. So there you kind of see where my thought process was in the choices that I was making musically. In the next video, you'll see how those choices evolved. So yeah, that's it for me. See you next time.